but let's move over right now. We're going to go to TFNN.com, go over to the newsletters tab. It, of course, is a Tuesday. You know what that means? It means we are joined by Basil Chapman. Basil Chapman is the author of the Opening Call newsletter, is also the host of the Tiger Technicians Hour, which is on TFNN at 10 a.m. Eastern Time every trading day. Get the Opening Call newsletter. I cannot say it enough, people. It is extraordinarily thorough. Basil has been very active. We, of course, love having him come on, and I love listening to him at 10 a.m. So go ahead and check it out. You can do this if it is your first time, risk-free. We do, of course, have a 30-day money-back guarantee for all first-time subscribers. If for whatever reason it doesn't work out for you, you can get your money back, but I am betting that it will. Basil, how are you doing?
I'm doing well, Jacob. How are you?
I'm doing well. Quite some, I think we've spoken about this before, but I'm a big nuclear guy. I like it quite a bit, and so it's nice to see that kind of leak come out. But I'm curious to see what you're seeing in the indices, because they're not doing as well today.
So this is very interesting. Let me just go through this again for those people who are not used to my technique. I try to identify the lowest low bar. After that, each peak gets counted. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. That's uppercase on the way up. At the fourth highest peak, that's peak D. Other things can happen. If a buy signal gets upgraded to a buy mode, we anticipate that there should be at least 4 higher peaks. Well, let's go to the story here. So the Dow has made a low at 36,661. It's gone to a peak A, a peak B, and a peak C. With today's lower high, with that little doji candle. It's often a little tiny doji candle could be a halfway marker on the way up between the lowest trough to move to upside, or it could be just a momentary pause. So we're watching this very closely because it has paused here. The Dow's down 325 at 40,893. So we've been long via the 3 times long, the UDOW. And it's done very nicely up until now, and it's at peak C. And I'm anticipating, even though the rule in the Chapman wave is that if it's breaking to new highs, you expect it should go to at least a D, but there could be a failure if it's under the previous high. But I love, look, this is the daily chart. The 9-period moving average is over the 14. That's a good sign. The MACD has expanded. That is really good. The relative little gray line here is a relative strength. Very nice. Stochastic's flat at 93%. If you are bullish, you can't ask for anything better than a 93% stochastic, and the on-balance volumes pull back. Now, of course, you can see the market today is just typical of what's gone on. In fact, what was the question I sent to a statement I sent to the den? I made it up on the spot. Now I said this is going to be very interesting because we could buy on the news or die on the news. That's this kind of market right now. And it's happening almost, I wouldn't say minute by minute, but really it is hour by hour. And in this environment, I just have to look at it purely technically. And the technicals right now on the daily chart says there should be a high at least to the 41,583 level, which is the 200-period exponential moving average. So that's my stance right now. There's the music.
Yeah, please stay right there, Basil. We'll be right back, folks. Welcome back, everybody. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We are joined right now by Basil Chapman. Of course, Basil, the author of the Opening Call newsletter. Basil, before we went to the break, you're looking at the Dow.
Yes, and I just need to correct that statement because I just made it up, and fortunately I wrote it down. Otherwise, I wouldn't have correctly remembered it. It's fly by the news, die by the news. That's where we're right now. That's exactly what's happening. One little word the eyebrow goes up, the market goes up. Eyebrow frowns, the market goes down. Anyway, so here we are. We're looking at the Dow, still very strong. It's not the greatest chart pattern. The weekly's improved a lot, but the key support I'll just mention is at the 39,500 level on any serious pullback. But right now it's holding very well. So what I wanted to also point out is that there are certain stocks that you can use in a way as a benchmark. And look, General Electric has been just a superb stock. And It's trading at 209.14 right now. And what I said to subscribers, we are long General Electric, been long for about a week. I said, if General Electric is able to hold today or even go positive, that's giving us a kind of a macro picture of the cyclical. I mean, this is General Electric aerospace, the aircraft engines. This is serious stuff. It's cyclical. It doesn't just, this is not a month thing or a 2-month thing. So this is saying to me that internally, there are certain sectors of the market that are holding well. So this to me is a little bit of a clue to say that if General Electric was down about 3 or 4 points at this particular time, I say, I think there's a problem. Right now, I think that's just a little bit, for me, it's a little bit of a sense of security that there is buying going on. That's important. The other thing is, within the context of the different sectors, I'd spoken to you about this last week, and I said that the gold sector, to me, still looked pretty good, especially those weekly charts, and the weekly chart and the monthly charts of both the GDX and the gold. Silver was not participating as well, and it seemed to me that I've always considered gold to be part of a geopolitical, economic, it's like an insurance policy. And I think that's really the issue here. We can talk. Is it really that people are using gold, in production? No. This is really, it's. I look at it as insurance policy. And if you look at the chart, you'll see that this move of the last 4 days from the 3,200 level to the 3,400 level, it's just been straight up. And it's kind of telling us that the market is saying that internationally, countries, really big institutions are putting money to work. That's what the chart looks like. I could be wrong, but I'm just doing the chart as an informational aspect, and I think that's good. So if it goes to a new recovery high, an all-time high, that's above the high of the 22nd of April of 3509, and it does it nonstop in this particular move, then I have to look at the market a little differently and say, if gold is going this high and countries are that nervous, maybe I should also become a little bit nervous. But so far we're along the gold, and I'm happy about that part of it. So here's another aspect that I think is important. I'd spoken to you about Bitcoin, and I said it seemed to me that it might not be the correct analysis, but just from the chart, the way the dollar's been weak, the way the euro hasn't been all that strong, and the way the Japanese yen, it seemed to me money is also flowing into Bitcoin, and it's, in a sense, it's a safety thing. And you would never guess that. I mean, a year ago, you wouldn't be saying that. But now I think it is. And that makes this Bitcoin a lot more legitimate to folks who had never been in before. This is not the crowd that got in to, there was a 2019-18 top in that December when it made a peak D in the daily chart and just tumbled. There it is right there. This is a little different. So I'm watching it closely. We are long for subscribers, and we're taking a little bit off just for money management. But at this particular point, the fact that after yesterday's pretty serious pullback, it's now up $800. It says with a 9-period, look at that 9-period moving the green line way over the 14. I consider that to be very positive. The MACD is positive. The relative strength is weakening just a little bit, and the stochastic still over 80% at 86%. So far, I like this action, but here's the issue. This trend line in the weekly chart for Bitcoin, I call that, and let me just show you what I usually do. I go like this. I make that green, and then I click again with a little narrow channel, and I call that inside, Chapman Wave inside track repellent zone until it can really decisively break above. So if Bitcoin is able to, it's at 95,515 right now. Anytime it just touches, doesn't have to close it just has to touch 100,000, let's call it 101,000. I think that changes this. It changes, look, that 9-period moving average, the week has just begun, so I can't talk about it as turning green, but there is a sign that at this point it's green, but it's a weekly chart. I have to wait for Friday at 4. But if the MACD crosses positive and the 9-period moving average crosses positive, that will give it strength. And right now, I'd say 92,000 is probably support. 92 to 91,000 is the support that holds. So I've been very specific for subscribers. We did add to our AIQ, which is the AI. This is the ETF, the Global X Artificial Intelligence ETF. It's at a peak C. I'm watching these double tops, 38.81, and then yesterday the high was 38. What is that? 38.38. So I always am watching these double tops because markets can pull back quite sharply from that. But so far it's holding very nicely. So we're along for ages. We've been along. Look, you can see in the monthly chart going all the way back to 2024. But we took profits, quite a bit of profits. Now we've added to that position. And I think it's saying that in the I'm trying to look at this. There are a lot of sectors that are already very, very weak. But if you look at this is artificial intelligence, which was written off about a month ago. People said, oh, well, that's it. Wait 5 years, wait 6 years. This is saying to us, no, a lot of money seems to still be going into that area. So I've chosen specific areas to be to be as careful as possible to choose what is working and add it to that. Now, not everything's worked out. We had a new position, which I thought did everything I wanted it. It's called Bowhead Specialty. It's in casualty healthcare liability insurance. And we bought it at 39 and ran all the way here to 41, just under 42 at leg D. I forgot that there was earnings coming out. But even with earnings coming out, if we have a position that's doing well, I don't worry about the earnings because usually we've got some security and we've got enough profit that if it pulls back, it's okay. This one we just got taken out and now it's rallied quite sharply. So this is BOW is the symbol trading at 40.59. We got taken out for a little bit of a loss, and I've already taken something off. This one I didn't because it was going towards that 42.29 high of the 28th of March. Once again, I want to mention double tops are something in this market you've got to be wary of. It was $42.29 on the 28th of March. Yep. Yesterday it ran to what? 41.98, just underneath that, and then it pulled back. So it's a technique. If you want to talk about technique, look at the what are we looking at? Palantir. Talk about double tops.
Oh yeah.
Look at this, 125.41 on right there. The week of the 21st of Feb, 125.25 yesterday, and today's down at 109. So you've got to be careful.
Quite the movement.
Yeah.
No, I was saying quite the move in Palantir for sure. Basil, thank you so much for coming on. We'll see you tomorrow at 10.
Thank you very much, Jacob. Have a good evening.
Take care, Basil.